Alrighty. It has been several weeks since I actually woke up and made a sumo video. I know I still haven't posted the top matches video, which I guess it's a good time to make up the excuse that I was planning on posting it closer to the start of the next tournament to try to generate hype and be like, hey, remember all these great matches? Instead of posting it right away and being like, hey, I know we just watched all these great matches, but here they are again. So I feel like changing up the schedule a little bit is gonna be able to generate more hype. But that's why the top videos hasn't come out, the top matches video hasn't come out yet, on top of the fact that I still haven't even made it yet. We've been very busy, very lazy, and that is why today, the 25th, no, that's when I guess the Banzuke is due. Next week, the 25th, it is Monday the 18th. 3 weeks since the tournament ended, and we still have another 3 weeks to go until the next tournament. There's a big gap between tournaments here, and I hope you are all enjoying your time off, enjoying some sumo food videos, enjoying my video in which I performed some sumo, which was a lot of fun, and I would like to do it again, but I need Gideon to sleep some more so we can actually do stuff, and you know how it goes. You've all had children. But anyway, finally here, guessing the Banzuke. Like I always say, I know you don't have to follow my guesses. I've only ever been in the top half, like 20% of the time I've actually played this damn game. But let's at least try to see who might be promoted, who might be demoted, what the positions might be on the Banzuke as we get into this. And of course, the top of the Banzuke is going to be what it has been, the two Yokozunas, except, it's going to be Onosato Yokozuna 1 East, Hoshoryu Yokozuna 1 West, so maybe I should have changed their colors here to better reflect that they are moving up and down respectively, but Onosato making it to the top of the leaderboard, Hoshoryu very disappointing that he couldn't finish out this tournament. Hotozakura, another disappointing 8-7 scoreline. Daieisho out 0-15, out for injury. He's not going to fall too far. I want to say around Maegashira 8. It's been a while since we've had a Sekiwake out for injury, so I do want to query this. Sekiwake, 0 wins. Let's see more recent times that happened, not the 1860s. So Takakeisho, well, after that he retired. Also with Chiyo Taikai, he retired after that too. But for Myogiryu, Okino-umi, Teruno Fuji, and Asano Yama, it was all down to about Maegashira 10. So let's actually lower Daieisho to that Maegashira 10 spot as we get to scooch up Kirishima and Wakataka Kage. Now, the question here is, does Kirishima stay where he is and Wakataka Kage leapfrogs him? I don't know. I don't think so. And I think it'll be hard to find another example of that on any recent Banzuke. So for now, I think what I'm going to do is keep Kirishima where he is and put Wakataka Kage at Sekiwake 1. We will be erasing the Sekiwake 2 slot. So let's bump all of these ranks up, and there will be a Maegashira 18 East. We have to remember that. There will not be that second Sekiwake slot, even though Aonishiki had that 11-4 Jun Yusho, 12-3 playoff win, it wouldn't have mattered either way, because, and using Daieisho as an example, and I mentioned this, during those live streams, Daieisho had from Maegashira 1 all the way back in January 2021, 13-2 Yusho, moved up 1 rank to Komusubi 2 West. At least in this situation, we're going to see Takayasu move up to Komusubi East, and Aonishiki move up to Komusubi West. So that's going to slot perfectly right in there. While we're here as well, Oshoma 3-12 from Komusubi. I would like to take a look at how far they might fall if, that is something that happens often. I feel like it doesn't happen that often, but let's see. Lots of Maegashira 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s. It looks like the median is 6 East. The most recent time it happened was with Nishikigi, fell to Maegashira 7. Before that, Shohozan 6 years earlier, Maegashira 7. And before that, another 4 years earlier, Ami Nishiki to Maegashira 6. So I feel like Oshoma probably going to fall to Maegashira 7. We'll just slot him on the outsides for now because we're going to be moving people up and down all over the place. So let's move over to Wakamoto Haru. He could fall a half of a rank. He could fall 3 ranks. I'm going to put him down to Maegashira 2 for now. Probably will only fall 1 rank. We also have Oho, 7 and 8 from Maegashira 2. I'm going to keep him where he is because right below all of this, I think we have a pretty good spread. Like, I think it's going to be obvious. Tamawashi Maegashira 1, Abi Maegashira 1, and then there really isn't anyone else that could occupy these slots in the first place, so Wakamoto Haru, Maegashira 2. Then we'll have Gonoyama, very likely leapfrog Haku Oho and Hirado Umi. Maybe not leapfrog Haku Oho, maybe stay right below there. So I think what'll happen here, Haku Oho moves up to Maegashira 3. Gonoyama will leapfrog over Hirado Umi, and Hirado Umi will stay 1 rank below Haku Oho at Maegashira 4. Now, it is a little tricky with this kind of setup, 9 and 6. Usually, if you have 1 more win than an opponent 1 rank above you, you will jump over them. 2 ranks above, 2.5 ranks in this situation. Gonoyama 9 and 6 from Maegashira 6 West. Haku Oho 8 and 7 from Maegashira 4 East. I don't think he's going to leapfrog that. I think it might already be a little bit of a stretch. Gonoyama leapfrogs Hirado Umi here as well, but I think I want to give it to him. And this is, you know, playing Guess the Banzuke, this is where it's a risky pick, because if Gonoyama is Maegashira 4 and Hirado Umi is Maegashira 3, then we don't get any points for that. But if Haku Oho is Maegashira 3 West and Gonoyama is 3 East, we still get some points for that because it's, you know, 50% off. You got it half right. You got the right number, but not the right side. So, got to be very careful with this. If you really want to get a perfect score, you got to split some hairs. And then let's follow that up with Onokatsu is going to be falling a couple of ranks. Keen Bolzan, 4 and 11 from Maegashira 3, probably going to be falling, let's see, that's -7. He's not going to fall 7 ranks. So probably around Maegashira 8, I'm going to set him down. Meisei, 3 and 12 from Maegashira 5. They might be a bit harsher on him. Let's see, that's -11. Probably down to Maegashira 14. Again, I'm going to keep the losers on the outside for now because the winners are definitely going to occupy higher places. Takeru Fuji, 5, 8, and 2. So 5 and 10 effectively. Probably around Maegashira 10, 11. We'll put him down to Maegashira 10 for now. Gonoyama, we already moved him up. Tobizaru, out for injury, 3, 10, and 2. So -9 on that because it's a 3 and 12 effectively. So down 9 ranks from Maegashira 7 would be Maegashira 16. I don't think he's going to fall that far. Usually I like to give a little bit of a cushion because it's very rare that someone actually falls that many ranks. So I'll put him at Maegashira 13 for now. Endo at 0015, I think he is out. I think he is just straight demoted to Judio. And I think I want to query the Banzuke on that as well. So Maegashira 7, 0 wins. On top of the fact that he was completely out, thanks to that injury, he had no fighting losses. I really hope this doesn't tell me that it's going to time out, because that always seems to happen whenever I try to make these videos. But I do think, yep, there it is. It timed out. Because of course it would. But, okay, there we go. Just had to refresh the page again. So, let's see. The last time that happened was Ichi no Jo. He fell to Judio 3. We will disregard the 2022 tournament because that was COVID. Homasho fell to Judio. Wakano Sato fell to Judio. So Endo is definitely out. And if you want to go by the last 3 times this happened, he's going to get a 14-1 Yusho. I put money on that. Endo 14-1 Yusho when he returns. I'm going to write that down. That way we remember. And that way when it happens, I can put it in the video. Let's see. Endo falls. Sadanaumi 4 and 11. That's not good. He's not going to fall completely out, though. And this is where we start getting into, you know, he's going to stay above Tobizaru. Probably stay below Daieisho. Stay below Takeru Fuji. So let's put him down here at Maegashira 12 for now. Ichi Yamamoto. Well, he's got to move up, and although I don't think they're going to put him up to Maegashira 4 for a 9 and 6 performance, there really isn't anyone else that could occupy that slot except maybe Atami Fuji, and I think they would give that to Atami Fuji, so I am going to put Ichi Yamamoto up to Maegashira 5 for now. Uda, 8, 6, and 1, absent on that final day. He's going to move up very slightly. I think he's going to move up, again, this is where the question comes in. Does Takanosho and Midori Fuji leapfrog over him? Probably not. But I think Kusano and Koto Shouho will. So, Uda, I will just put on the outside over here at Maegashira 6 for now, because we do have a couple of other guys to get through. Atami Fuji, definitely going to go up to that Maegashira 4 slot, probably no higher, and this is where I can feel comfortable slotting Onokatsu in. Down 2 ranks for a 6 and 9 from Maegashira 3. That's not too bad. It might work out for him. Now we have Chiyoshoma. He's falling out 100%. Roga could very likely stay the same spot, so I'm going to keep him there for now. Takanosho, Midori Fuji, both likely to move up 3+ ranks. We're kind of running out of room for guys up here, though, so I think for now I'm going to put them on the outside here. Same with Churanaumi, except it's getting a little tight, so I'll put Churanaumi over here on the right side. And then the losers, Toki Hayate, Asa Koryu, both 6 and 9, they're going to be falling down. The question here is, does Meisei fall below them or above them? It's hard to say. I think these guys are going to fall a little rough. I do want to double check. How rough is the fall for a 6 and 9 near the bottom of the Banzuke, if the sumo database wants to help me out with that? We probably won't get that help, so let's for now put Toki Hayate and Asa Koryu below Meisei, because we do also need to make room for the Judo promotions, and they need to go up. We also need to push these guys up, the winners up here, up, so they can make some room too. So Churanaumi already put on the outside. Shodai is going to be right behind Churanaumi. Kusano leapfrogs over them. Fujinokawa, I think he stays below Takanosho, but above Midori Fuji. So this is where the traffic jam is going to start setting in. Kusano, I think he leapfrogs over Takanosho. I'm going to put him up here for now, all the way up to Maegashira 7. Koto Shouho, I'm going to put all the way up here at Maegashira 6 for now. He could even go higher. He might go higher than that. Fujinokawa is going to stay below Kusano, but I think he stays below Midori Fuji as well, so I'm going to slot him in right here. Fujinokawa. Hidenoumi, down and out. Kaio, down and out. Kotoeiho, down and out. Mitakeumi is going to stay below the rest of these winners, I feel like. And now, the question is Shishi. 7 and 8, Maegashira 17. His campaign started off poor. He did rally back, but the other big question is there realistically anyone that could occupy his spot? Because we've already established Endo, Chiyoshoma, Hidenoumi, Kaio, and Kotoeiho are falling back to Judo. You cannot keep Endo or Chiyoshoma in the top division, even though they are ranked in those middle ranks. 0 and 15, 1 and 14 respectively. Hidenoumi 2 and 11 from Maegashira 15. Kaio 4 and 11 from Maegashira 16. There's literally no way they stay up. Kotoeiho, no way he stays up. 6 and 9 from Maegashira 17. So Shishi, Maegashira 18 East just opened up. So maybe Kotoeiho falls 1 rank. Maybe Shishi stays where he is. maybe Shishi bumps Kotoeiho down. Because the problem here is we have a bunch of guys ready for promotion. We have Nishikigi, Ryuden, Shonan Umi, and Tomokaze jumping up. Osho Umi with an 8 and 7 from Judio 3. I don't think he gets there. Hitoshi and Daiseisan from Judio 6, both men at 10 and 5. I don't think they get there either. They're just outside that +5. They should be sitting at Judio 1 with 11 and 4 Mita sitting right below them at Judio 2. That would make the most sense. Like, maybe if one of these guys had 11 wins, it would be a lot easier to say. But it's very difficult to call. It's very sensitive. And one of the things we kind of have to remember is with these guys at 7 and 8, even though they will occupy the same rank, because of the closing of the Sekiwake slot, they will still technically have like a +0.5. So maybe even I'm not comfortable keeping Roga and Shishi where they are. Maybe... Oh, who'd you get? Sorry, the wife is pulling for a Uma Musume girl. She just, she got Falco off the free pull. Anyway, we have Shishi. Maybe I'm overthinking the half of a rank increase from staying where you are. But Oho and Roga could certainly move down. Like, we could have Wakamoto Haru. No, Wakamoto Haru I think has to be below Oho. Maybe we have Haku Oho and above Oho here. Maybe. Like Maegashira 2, 3, 4 is gonna be very finicky. Is M2 below M3? Just for both of them. Like, should Haku Oho be above Oho and Wakamoto Haru? Over Oho? Like, that could realistically happen. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Same thing with Roga, because there's such a traffic jam in the middle here, he could easily just bump down half of a rank, you know? The problem, again, is Shishi and Kotoeiho. Does Kotoeiho survive by the skin of his teeth? Does Shishi move down at all? Does he stay the anchor where he is? But is it possible for him to stay where he is? Because, again, technically he moves up like half of a rank, which is mathematically, you know, it's not very clean. But, like, this is where a lot of the difficulty comes in. This is the fun part, you know, but this is the difficult part. And what I usually like to do is not dwell on it too much. I like to think that, you know, we should just get it done ASAP. We should just not think about it too hard, because when you overthink it, that's the trap. The trap is overthinking, you know? So I'm actually, too, looking through the Nato Sumo refugee server, which is still not open, but I'm looking at other people's Guess the Banzukes, and, or rather, lack of Guess the Banzukes, and I don't really see much. I don't really see much. I also want to add maybe Koto Shouho over a lot of guys here? Question mark? Like, no one has posted their Banzuke guesses to the Discord, so I have no other references to go off of. So this is just going to be me not copying any homework. I'm going to make the call. Kotoeiho survives Maegashira 18. Shishi survives Maegashira 17. It's a very risky call, but one I think mathematically has to happen because Osho Umi can't be promoted. I mean, we could even double check. Judio 3, oh, not year 8. 8 and 7 record. I mean, the 70s, Maegashira 12, 13, 14. 2024, I guess it happened with Kitano Waka. Let me take a look at this, this Banzuke. It's Kitano Waka moved up with that 8 and 7 because 3 other people above him were losers, because Takakeisho retired, Onosho retired, or fell down to Judeo, Asanoyama fell down, Chiyoshima fell down. So that was more a necessity of needing to move someone up. Like Shirokuba made it 12-3 Yusho from Judeo 8. He was probably going to make that anyway. So this is one example that doesn't really work for our situation. Again, if we want to go a little bit more recent, we have this one in 2016, Arawashi. 2016, let's see, Judeo 3, Arawashi, he had 3 other men lose above him. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 promotions from Judeo. Because there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys that fell out. So Gagamaru with that 6 and 9 falling out, Seido and Hidenoumi falling out, Amuru also falling out, Kyokushuho had to. So maybe Kotoeiho does fall out, and maybe Osho Umi gets the call up. I'm gonna call that. That's my gamble. Osho Umi, he gets the call. Oh, he gets the call. Osho Umi makes it in. I'm going to put Shishi at Maegashira 18, Osho Umi at Maegashira 17. And then this is where we slot in. Shonan no Umi is going to be above the rest of these guys. Tomokaze leapfrogs as well. And Nishikigi above Ryuden. And we try to parse out something like this. So before I start filling in a lot of these blanks, I would like to double check that Koto Shoho score. Koto Shoho, because it is very rare that such a low Maegashira, he was Maegashira 15, 13 wins, 2 losses, only time it's happened in history. So let's try looking at 12 wins, 3 losses. Maegashira 2 back in the 50s, Maegashira 5 back in the 50s, and then in Abi, moving up to Maegashira 6. That's with a 12 though. Let's look at have there been Maegashira 14, 13 and 2s. Most recently, Endo moved up to Maegashira 3. Takatoriki moved up to Komusubi. Let's try looking at Maegashira 16, 13 and 2s. 0, Maegashira 17, 13 and 2s. Maegashira 6, Takeru Fuji, Maegashira 1. So Koto Shoho will definitely be above some of these other guys. Probably leapfrogs Ichimamoto and Onokatsu at the least. Atami Fuji, where was Atami Fuji? 11 and 4 Junyusho. I think he stays below Atami Fuji, so I think I would like to scooch a bunch of these guys down and over to make room for Koto Shoho at Maegashira 5. And at Maegashira 5, he should be in range of the Yokozuna, so he will still be fighting the Sanyaku ranks. So I think this is an appropriate spot to put him. Again, splitting hairs on whether or not he'll leapfrog. I don't think he's going to leapfrog over Hirato Umi and Haku Oho. Gonoyama and Atami Fuji also have to occupy those spots. So I think Maegashira 5 is the upper limit for him. Now, it does look like we can easily slot in a lot of guys, just pushing them to the left into the Banzuke. So for at least a couple of these guys in the middle, I will do that. Again, I didn't really think too hard about how far these guys will fall. I was just kind of feeling it out. But again, this is where we have the question of Roga. We have the question of how harsh are they going to be on Daieisho? Is Daieisho actually going to be above, Takanosho here? Maybe, could be. It's very hard to say. And this is where another gamble is going to come through. The Daieisho could fall anywhere from Maegashira 8 to 12, realistically. We also have to consider outside factors, not just looking at the Banzuke and looking at the math, but we also have to consider Daieisho has been a very long time Sekiwake. We know his consistency at Sekiwake, and I feel like the Banzuke committee is not going to be that harsh on him because he was out for his first career injury. Now, that is a lot of speculation that I'm relying on. That is a lot of assumptions that need to be made. I am assuming a lot. And you know what they say, when you're assuming things, you make an ass out of you and Ming. But I like the idea of Daieisho at Maegashira 8. Looking at it too, Takanosho, Midori Fuji could stand to, you know, only go up 3 ranks off of their +3, or 2 ranks off of their +3. So maybe we bump down Keen Bolzan a little bit more, but then again, just as well, Keen Bolzan 4 and 11 from Maegashira 3, usually they are kind to those guys too. So what we might do is bump down all of the winners just a tiny bit, just a little bit. Takanosho getting the real brunt of that. Slot Daieisho there at Maegashira 8 next to Keen Bolzan, who, I mean, it looks like they should be falling down to about next to each other anyway. And then we have Kusano right above them with his 11 and 4. I think that's appropriate. I mean, you could even argue Daieisho sits above Kusano as well. But I feel like because Kusano is such a fun challenger, they're going to push him a little bit higher up the Banzuke too. It's, again, we have to make a lot of assumptions here. We have to... It's going to be impossible for me to put myself in the mind of a 60-year-old Japanese man who has been in sumo for 90% of his lifespan. So I can't really tell you what he might be thinking, but from the trends that I've seen and from, you know, the implicit bias that they have shown towards fan favorite sumo wrestlers, which at the same time, you know, counterpoint, there was such a huge surge of fan support to get Asanoyama out of suspension early, but they never budged on that, which I think that's a good thing. And they were very harsh on him too, despite the fact that he was a fan favorite, kind of making an example out of him. For those that don't know, back during COVID era, Asanoyama was suspended for a year because he went out without permission, because all the sumo wrestlers needed permission to go out because everything was in lockdown. He went out without permission to a host club, went with a journalist, and afterwards he tried to coordinate with the journalist, lied about going out in the first place, and then when the journalist squealed, he said, okay, yeah, sure, I went out. I'm sorry for lying and all of this and that, the other thing. Some of the factors that led to the year-long suspension is the fact that he went out, the fact that he lied, and the fact that at the time he was the Ozeki, Yokozuna hopeful, and, you know, as the face of the sport, basically, he needed to be punished. And I feel like it was an appropriate punishment for the time. Again, for those of you that are unfamiliar, that don't know, that was the situation, like, TLDR, too long didn't read. And we can debate all day on if they should have let Asanoyama back early or not, because it was a very harsh punishment. But I feel like it was justified, mostly because of the lying part too. Like, you know, it's like a parent telling their child, you know, if you lie, you're just going to make it worse. And indeed, he made it worse. So let's get back to this thing here. Daieisho being, again, so consistent at the top, I feel like they're going to cushion his fall a little bit and be a little bit kinder to him because of it's his first time being out for injury. Now this is where we try to slot in some more guys. Now that it's kind of shaken itself out a little bit more, I feel like we can keep Roga where he is, maybe even bump him down a half of a rank. I'm looking at Takeru Fuji 5, 8, and 2. He might fall the full 5 ranks. He might just stay where he is. I want to put Fujinokawa above these losers, though. So I'll put Roga down here, falling half of a rank. Takeru Fuji over, Fujinokawa above him. And then we have Churano Umi 9 and 6. This is another thing that I try to do in my Banzuke, but it never stays that consistent. You see Takanosho, Midori Fuji, and Churano Umi all right next to each other, all have 9 and 6. What I think should happen is they basically just all 3 of them move up together like a little train. But that's not how it works a lot of the time. A lot of the time. Like even right now, I have Takanosho and Midori Fuji sitting at Maegashira 9 together. So technically over-promoting Midori Fuji a little bit, under-promoting Churano Umi with only a +2 up to Maegashira 11. Or what we might be able to do here is take a look at the fact that Takeru Fuji had 2 absences, 3 if you want to count the Fusencho. So it is possible that they will be harsher on him, push him down to Maegashira 11, and now we can have Churano Umi right below Midori Fuji where he was / should be. Again, this is a lot of really, like, we're just flipping coins at this point. We're rolling the dice and being like, yep, that's the answer. So, like, will Chura be above Taker Roga? Who knows? I don't know. That's why this stuff is confusing. Shodai with his own 9 and 6 probably should move up more than 1 rank. So 1.5 ranks for Shodai. Mitake Yumi with his 10 and 5. We can over-promote him a bit, maybe. Let me take a look at some of these losers. Sadana Umi, 4 and 11 from Maegashira 8. Let's take a look at that. Maegashira 8, 4 and 11. Let's see. A lot of the times he falls to Maegashira 13, 14. So, yeah, that's about in line with where Sadana Umi should be falling. Again, it does suck to kind of under-promote Shodai, his 9 and 6, but because of this traffic jam up here, you really don't want to demote Roga more than he already has been. Churano Umi... Oh, wait, you know what? Yeah, no, Shodai should be below Churano Umi. I thought Shodai had a 10 wins for a second, and I was going to say, no, he should leapfrog Churano Umi, but no, he shouldn't. Not in this situation. But this is, again, where I get a little frustrated seeing this separation. Like, Shodai and Churano Umi were right next to each other, and they both had 9 and 6s. But someone's gotta fall somewhere. Like, we can't just keep pushing Takeru Fuji and Oroga down, 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 you know? They have to stop somewhere. So, Shodai is gonna get separated from Churano Umi here. Tobizaru, that 3 and 10 from Maegashira 7. He should fall below Sadana Umi, and I think he's going to fall right here to Maegashira 13. And then for these 6 and 9 guys, Toki Hayate and Asa Koryu, we also have Meisei falling with his 3 and 12. Let me double check that 3 and 12 from Maegashira 5. So, looks like it's about Maegashira 13 for him as well. Easily could be 12 or 14. So in this situation, Meisei will probably fall here. This is where I will most likely put Toki Hayate above Asa Koryu. And then slot in all of these winners. Ryuden is going to be above Osho Umi. Nishikigi is going to be above Ryuden. Tomokaze is going to be above both of them because he had a 9 and 6. And then Shonnano Umi with his 10 and 5 is going to be above all of them. So it slots in nice and neatly. Again, this is where a lot of the chaos happens. I got super lucky in my last July Banzuke because I guessed a lot of these guys near the bottom on point. And you can see I guessed a lot of the guys near the top off because, you know, oh, one thing was messed up, so it messed up everything else underneath it. So, you know, down here at the bottom, this is just a crapshoot. This is just a crapshoot. Everything Maegashira 12 and below, that's just a crapshoot. You just gotta get lucky on those guesses. So, I am satisfied with these picks. Again, I'm still on the fence about Kotoeiho, but I think it makes the most sense that Osho Umi will make it up. We've seen that situation happen very recently before. I'm going to change Roga and Shishi to that light red to kind of indicate that they were 7 and 8, but they still fell ranks, whereas Oho, his 7 and 8, he stayed where he should. I'm still questioning Haku Oho over Oho. It's really splitting hairs at this point, but I will double check one more time, see if anyone else has any guesses, because I do see one guess, but it's only down to Maegashira 8. And that person put Atami Fuji and Haku Oho over Oho and Wakamoto Haru. So, interesting guess right there. I don't think Atami Fuji will be that highly promoted. And at the same time, I don't think Wakamoto Haru is going to get that lowly demoted down to Maegashira 3.
Granted, 6 and 9 for Maegashira 1. It maths out. It makes sense. And then he has Daieisho at Maegashira 8 next to Uda, whereas I have Uda up to Maegashira 6. And I guess he has Kinbolzan falling a little bit further. Not too much to glean there. He has Kusano at Maegashira 7, Oshoma at Maegashira 6, Onokatsu at Maegashira 6, Ichiyamamoto above them. So, again, like, just really hard guessing, really splitting hairs. And you got to keep in mind the Banzuke is a living thing. You can do all this math, you can do all this probability, and you're still probably going to be wrong, because you never know. Something new could happen on every single Banzuke. You never know. But I, again, am satisfied with these guesses. Yokozuna's Onosato and Hoshoryu, Ozeki Kotozakura, Sekiwake Wakataka Kage, and Kirishima once more. But Wakataka Kage has a much better chance at Ozeki. Takeyasu and Aonishiki at Komusubi. Tamawashi and Abi, Maegashira 1. Oho Wakamoto Haru, Maegashira 2. Haku Oho and Gonoyama, Maegashira 3. Hirado Umi Atami Fuji, Maegashira 4. Koto Shoho Onokatsu, Maegashira 5. Ichiyamamoto Uda, Maegashira 6. Oshoma Kusano, Maegashira 7. Daieisho Kinbolzan, Maegashira 8. Takanosho Midori Fuji, Maegashira 9. Fujinokawa Churano Umi, Maegashira 10. Takeru Fuji Roga, Maegashira 11. Shodai Mitake Umi, Maegashira 12. Sarano Umi Tobizaru, Maegashira 13. Meisei Toki Hayate, Maegashira 14. Shonano Umi Asa Koryu, Maegashira 15. Tomokaze Nishikigi, Maegashira 16. Ryu Den Osho Umi, Maegashira 17. And then, hanging on by the skin of his teeth, Shishi, Maegashira 18 East. And just a reminder for everyone watching as well, the sumo tournament is going to be starting relatively late in September because it is always the second Sunday of the month, and the first day of September is a Monday. So let me scoot my cute little lion avatar out of the way. September 1st is on a Monday, so that means the second Sunday is going to be the 14th. 13th for us over here in the States and in some parts of Europe. So look out for that late start and late finish. It's going to go basically to the end of the month in September. I hope you're all happy sending your kids back to school. I can't wait for the day we can send Gideon to school. Nah, I love him. It's just he needs to be a little bit more human, so our entire day isn't just following him around, going beep beep with his car, you know, just waiting for the day we can actually start like playing real games with him. Like Hi-Ho Cheerio or Candyland, I'll take that. We can play Uno too, I don't care. But that'll be it from us for the day. Thank you so much for watching, and in the next coming weeks, I said I do want to post it before the next tournament to generate hype for it. So probably the start of September is when I am going to finally release that top X number of matches for the sumo tournament. I'm going to combine the lower and upper divisions in this one because it's funny, there were so many good upper division matches, Maegashira division, but I didn't write down that many lower division matches, so I'm just going to combine them all. And in my knowledge, there is no other news to report. Everyone is fine and happy and healthy at home. In the sumo world, I haven't really seen anything other than, you know, post-tournaments. Like, oh, yes, this is an interview with so-and-so about the tournament. Like, I haven't seen any major news, so hopefully it stays that way. And hopefully, next tournament, we can see Koto Shoho follow up this performance with something impressive. Hopefully, we can see Wakataka Kage Ozeki. Hopefully, we see Sekiwake Aonishiki with another 10-plus win performance. And there are a lot of interesting things on the Banzuke I am very much looking forward to. We will catch you cats later.